Hello and welcome back. This is Seek, Gather and Create week 3. And this week we asked you to find a cluster. I have got this altered photograph, a cluster of people I thought would work well. And also I've got some of this fabric sent to me by Michelle Cox that I'm going to create a cluster with. Something sealed. I picked out some of this wax sealing wax. And also a flashcard with some. I added a thing, so I've got a something as well. For a grid, I picked out some graph paper and the blue-green. I've got the wax, I've got this little card and fabric. I didn't know whether to start off with the fabric, creating a cluster, or with the graph paper as a base. I decided to go for an old favourite and I grabbed the graph paper to make a box. So I've cut it down a little bit, I'm folding it in half, and then creating a little lip on the top on both sides. This is a really straightforward way of making a little box. Open it out and fold those to the centre. Lift up the flap that you've created in the middle and fold the corners in. And then you just fold that bit back and open it up, and that's it. Really straightforward, and I love working in boxes, so I can't resist creating this as a base from that grid paper. Okay, I actually trimmed down the sides, make it thinner, and I covered the back and sides in masking tape just to strengthen it. I've cut down my flashcard here, and I'm just placing it in the corner there. So I want this to be my something sealed. So I've got the something, and then I'm going to get my sealing wax and seal this down into the box at the back. I'm just using a bit of glue just to hold it in place as well, but then I'll seal it down, sorry, with the wax. I'm just going to use my heat gun just to heat the wax, and then grab my little, I don't know what these are called again, it's gone out of my head, sealing wand? I don't think that's what it's called, but yeah, this thing, just to press into it and seal it into place. There we go. Something sealed, done. I also, when I was trimming down the box, I trimmed down my fabrics so that they would all fit inside the box. And so now I'm going to create myself a little cluster of all these pieces of fabric and the altered photograph. I just, you can see, stitched the faces of all the people except one. And whoops, I didn't leave the wax to dry long enough, so I ended up with wax on the back of my fabric, so I just had to quickly wipe that off as best as I could. Didn't come off completely, but it doesn't matter. It's still fine. So just playing around, layering up the fabrics, deciding what order I want them to be. I want to include that little card. That's like a little, I want to say cigarette card, but it's not really. It's like a little touristy mini postcard type of thing. All right, I'm happy with that order. And I decide to take it over to my sewing machine to put this together. As you can see, I stitched along the top. I also stitched the little card onto that piece there. So I've got my cluster done, but I want to add to it. So I decided to just add some stitching, first of all, into this first sort of plain blue-green piece. I'm just doing some very basic little seed stitches. And so while I'm doing this, let me just remind you, or for those of you that don't know, Seek, Gather and Create is an art scavenger hunt challenge that I run over on my Instagram challenge with my co-hosts Tina Hoyce and Laura Dennison. And each week throughout August, we've been putting up 4 prompts for you to seek and gather, and you can create anything at all that you like with them. All right, on the card, I now decide to alter it a little bit. So I'm grabbing some gesso first of all and just lightening that little area there. I don't know, I just felt like it needed something else and I decided to just play around with it with a few mediums. I recommend heading over to Instagram, just searching the hashtag Seek Gather Create August, just AUG 2006, and see what everyone else's interpretations have been. It's really interesting to see how people take the prompts each week. Okay, grabbing a bit of collage and a bit of matte medium just to stick some bits and bobs down onto this. I didn't mind sort of covering up that corner, which was just like a aerial view of a city or a place, and leaving just this sort of shoreline and beach showing. It was the colours that I was more interested in, really. Okay, so a little bit of collage, and then I grab myself some watercolours. And I'm going to add to the blue-green colour with a few splashes and a few little areas of this. So just giving it a little flick over that. And then I come in and actually just add some to the fabric as well. Okay, giving that a dry. And here we are. I actually also added some I typed these words out just to have a little story thread running through. Added some little stitches to the corner there as well. And then, of course, the last word in my story is the something in the box. So I'm going to place it in there and I'm just going to use some crochet thread just to stitch it down into place. And it went through dead easy. It was quite straightforward just to stitch this just along the top. I have to say, I was really, really pleased with how this one came together. I love it. And I've got I have a bit of an obsession with working inside boxes at the moment. There's just something about it. But I really like this idea of this little cluster story sort of nestled inside the box. Just tying that off. And that's it. I believe I don't do anything else. No. So there we are. There's my little altered photograph. And it flips really nicely to reveal the words as we go through the stitching. That little bit of collage on that card I think works well. And then we've got something sealed at the bottom. Great. That's week 3 done. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you take part. I'd love to see what you create, and take care.